The earth, air, fire, water is just a way to really kind of show the, I wonder if that works.
Yeah.
Is that working? The, well, pardon me. It just shows, my intent with the design of the backs this way was to have the all-seeing eye in the middle, and then the energy coming out all around the elements of what it is to be in the earth.
Okay, great. Okay, so if we took, do you have another big one of the card on the other side here? Now this is the universe,
Yes.
and in other decks it's the world.
Yes.
So talk to us about why you have added these gems and these particular glyphs, astrological glyphs and so forth. You've done several disciplines on these cards.
Well, you know, for me, it's the pictures I really love.
Yeah.
And so I just started with the pictures. And then I have a wonderful friend who said to me, well, you know, I'm really into astrology. Aren't you going to put in the astrological influences on the cards? And I thought, you know, that's a really good idea. I bet a lot of people do that. So I added astrology. And then someone else said, well, what about the Hebrew influence and the Kabbalic influence? That's very much into tarot. I thought, well, you know, that's good too. Then once that snowball started going downhill, I added all these other features like the runes, gemstones, Roman letters, so you can use the tarot deck for the first time ever, like a Ouija board, spell out words, names, and phrases.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so also I noticed with your deck that, I don't know if it, I don't see it in this particular one, but in the people cards, if someone wanted to know what their future partner's color hair would be, you have added that feature there.
Well, in classic tarot, in the court system especially, certain cards really represented certain types of people, and they were pictured that way. You would actually see on the card a white-skinned person with blonde hair and blue eyes. In my deck, I really wanted it to be much more multicultural. And so I made the figures themselves of precious metals and gem qualities and crystals. And then I knew that people would still want a way to read the physical characteristics of someone. And so like on this card here, there's like a green eye indicator and a blue eye indicator. There is hair color here, skin color here, and then the name of the card, whether father, mother, daughter, or son, can represent an age group. And so it gives you an easy way to access those features without the figures themselves representing a certain ethnic type.
Okay, so basically, if somebody came to you and said, Joseph, you've told me that I'm going to meet someone probably within a time frame of 3 months.
Yes.
Well, what are the clues?
What are the clues exactly?
What are the clues that this is the one? And so,
you know, I have given physical characteristics in readings because people really do want to know that a lot. Though I rather give the emotional characteristic in a reading. And this is actually why. A wonderful, wonderful woman named Kim had a reading by a very good psychic in San Francisco. It wasn't me, though, at the time. This was years ago.
yeah.
And she said to her, I see your future husband. He's wearing a lumberjack shirt. He has a beard and a mustache, and his hair is straggly. And Kim, you know, told me the story and said, you know, it just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not marrying a lumberjack. So she meets this wonderful guy at this bar. They hit it off. They start going out. She says to him, you won't believe what this psychic said to me, that I was going to meet this lumberjack. And he said, you know what I just did this summer? I was working as a forest worker with a beard and a mustache and a lumberjack shirt and boots. But now I'm back in school, I'm shaving, I'm back in the school thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of resist giving really firm physical characteristics because it can really throw people off. They're looking for a specific thing, and if someone great comes along that's not that thing, see, they may not want to give it a try.
Yes, so it's about being open.
It's about being open.
And actually, the emotional qualities, the character qualities, the personality qualities are more important than the physical characteristics a lot of the time.
I believe that's true. And I think that the older we get, though I'm not getting any older, I swear. The older we get, I think that's more true for us because we realize how transient the body is and how ethereal and eternal the real self is.
Yes, well, I like the way you said that, how transient the body is as it goes through its changes. Thank you so much for that. Well, this is fascinating. What are these things?
Now, on certain cards, because I'll tell you that people had said to me, I want an easy way to use the cards. I want to be able to open up my deck of cards and just start using them. So I added this thing called a yes-no feature. So without worrying about whether you're psychic or not, or having to read the book, you can use this feature to determine yes, no, maybe, answer lies in the past, answer lies in the future as answers to your question. How that works is when the daggers both point down, it says no. When they both point up, it says yes. When one is up and one is down, it says maybe. When both daggers point to the right, answer lies in the future. Both daggers point to the left, answer lies in the past.
Well, that's simple enough.
It makes it very easy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for that. Now, I noticed that as you're giving the readings, the light is flashing off your jewelry. Does the jewelry act as an antenna of in any way to bring in information for you?
Well, you know, I love this stuff, and I was very attracted to it. And so I've had many people say, well, did you have a past life as a knight with a suit of armor? And all I can say is I must have, because I really like these rings. They're just really great. I've been told by those who are supposed to be in the know that silver is a great metal for psychic ability. Gold is a great metal for healing ability. And so the silver is, I think, a natural conduit according to tradition. So I really love wearing these as my little antennas.
Okay, well, great. That explains it then.
Yes.
It helps to amplify the messages that you bring in. So what's next for you, Joseph Martin? You've done the book, you've done the card deck. So what are you thinking about next?
Well, you know, I was just down in Los Angeles just a few weeks ago, and the History Channel was filming me for 3.5 hours doing readings and working. They set up a test environment. It was difficult. I'll be honest. It's difficult to be psychic and open when there's structure around you that you have to follow.
Yeah.
Though I'm hoping that could lead to something special in the future. It's going to be out next year. As soon as I know the air dates and times and station, I'm going to make that available on my website, of course.
Yes, yes. Now, they were just watching you read. Is that the idea?
They had picked 3 psychics. And each psychic was to read 4 people. And then at the end of each session, that person was interviewed and said how accurate they felt the psychic was. And then at the end of all the sessions, they interviewed the psychic to talk about their experiences with each person.
Ah, okay. So there's just kind of like almost a study from both ends, the client and to get the information. Well, very nice indeed. Now, as we have been moving along here, someone mentioned to me once that Joseph Martin was on a cruise reading.
That's true.
What's that story?
Well, I know, and you asked the most interesting place, you know, to be reading. I think probably the most fun place to read, which was in Belize, the Roatan Islands. And we're on this white, sandy, chalky beach. It's just so gorgeous. There's sand in my shoes, and I've got cards.
Yes.
And I have to say, if I was going to choose a place to be working, I'd have my booth right on that beach every day, also my snorkel gear in the back. I'd read underwater if they'd let me.
Yes, Belize is gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, it's so nice.
Turquoise water, great sun. Oh. So if we were to take it to a global level, do you have any comments about Earth changes or planetary changes? Have you run across those kinds of energies in your work?
Actually, I have. And, you know, globally, I believe that not only are the healers in this world actively healing the world from falling off the edge of itself, but also they're solving problems that we would have had to pay heavy penance for had they not been there. Sean David Morton, for instance, and his group down in Los Angeles, they get together and they pray and send healing energy to fissures in California that they see or predict is going to become active.
As cracks in the earth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, it's that funny thing is, you know,